Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 15 Monday Night Football, and we've got a single game showdown. So I've got a breakdown just like every island game on Thursday and Monday night for you, but we have no more Thursday night games this year. We're gonna have a Friday night game this week, the first Friday. Now they'll have played on every single day of the week for the first time like ever in NFL history. But here we go. We got 2 weeks left of the regular season. This is gonna be the cap on week 15, the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's gonna be ugly. The total in this one is 40, and the Steelers are favored by 14.5. That's up from 12 where it opened. So they were 12-point favorites to open the week. Obviously, the quarterback situation for Cincinnati is just in absolute shambles, with the backup to the backup now starting because of injuries. Ryan Finley is going to be starting in this game. He, in the brief stint that he had as starter last year, did not top 200 yards in any matchup. And the Steelers defense has been really good this year, although people are saying that it's faltering recently. They're also, because of a couple of losses. Then there's also the discussion that Cincinnati might be getting better against quarterbacks. We're going to dig into all of that as we get into it, but this is a very seemingly straightforward showdown, which is something I don't always think about single game showdown. I'm always trying to plot and scheme and figure out what else can happen, what can go wrong. If everybody thinks it's going to go like this, we got to plan for it going like that and build lineups accordingly around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the same sort of correlation that we talk about usually. We'll go through what I think are probably the most likely routes that people are going to take in their tournament lineups, whether they're single entry or 3 max or 20 max or 150. What I suggest is that you guys in single game showdown, right, whether it's NFL or basketball, which is starting up very, very shortly. I think Tuesday night is the opening night of basketball season with a 2-game slate, and then on Wednesday they have the first full slate of the week, and then or the year. Then obviously Christmas Day is a massive slate, 5-game slate, and it's all great games and fantastic day for NBA DFS. If you've never done mass multi-entry, the best place to kind of get your feet wet in that is single game showdown. And I'm going to walk you through the Fantasy Labs Optimizer like we do every 2 times a week on this show, show you some rules that I build for NFL, and then how we're going to go about it. Because look, you don't have to get in the $10 game where you're playing for $1,500 a pop. You're looking for those mini max games, the 5 cent, 10 cent, 25, 50 cent. And a lot of the people in our community this year have had a lot of success doing that and seen their bankrolls increase accordingly, because when you're playing those levels with an optimizer against people that a lot of the time don't use one to build those mini max lineups, you have a distinct advantage, and especially if you're equipped with the knowledge of how to correlate your lineups and things along those lines. So that's what we do with this video. I appreciate you guys coming back week after week, day after day during football season. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. Even leaving a reply to this video helps a ton. It helps the channel a lot. If you wanted to go one step further and join the Discord, we have free channels. We also have members only channels. So if you want to become a channel member here on YouTube, to go along with the Twitch subscription, you get pooled into those VIP channels. If you link your Discord to YouTube, click the join button, you get a nice little VIP button that goes next to your name. When you leave a reply, lets me know who is subscribed to the channel. Also, you get some great emotes, and you get access to those VIP rooms in Discord where there's always people to surround yourself with that are just trying to improve their daily fantasy game every single day of every single season, no matter what the sport is. So without any further ado, let's get to the video. So Big Ben, going to be a very popular captain, although I don't think that you should probably roll out 50% allocation on him as your captain, but I'm probably not going to have very much Finley captain, if any. I think that the most common lineup builds are going to be 5-1 Steelers or 4-2 Steelers. If you wanted to go off of that build, feel free, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you you can't do it. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong. I'm just telling you that that's probably going to be the most common thing. So if you're building Ben Roethlisberger lineups and you think, look, they have a team total of, as of the time I'm recording, 27.5. So that's about 4 touchdowns, maybe 3 and 2 field goals. If you think those are going to come via the air against this Bengals defense, and let's take a look at that Bengals defense, because there's been a lot of back and forth this week about, well, the Bengals defense has been doing better against quarterbacks in the last 3 or 4 games. They haven't really allowed a ton. Well, if you look at their last few games, they've played Dallas, they've played Miami, the Giants, and the football team. So not exactly Your murderer's row, all apologies to Tua. He's just not that great yet, right? He's not this massively efficient quarterback. He did throw for 296 against him, but like 195 yards against, 244 against, 166 against. Teams just didn't have to throw against because they weren't scoring any points. So that's another part of it. They gave up over 100 yards rushing in every one of those games. And then early in the season, they were just getting curb stomped by anybody that had a real quarterback or anything resembling one. Threw for like 300 yards against them, including Ben Roethlisberger, who threw for 333 in the first game against, and they scored 36 points. So if you think that this is a great spot to jump in when other people are trying to rationalize being off of Ben Roethlisberger, I don't think it's a good spot to be off of Ben Roethlisberger. The highest correlation between quarterback scoring in real life and fantasy is efficiency. The highest correlation between fantasy efficiency and real life is how many points the team scores, right? Just they score more touchdowns, it's more likely that the quarterback's going to have something to do with that. So that's why we attack quarterbacks in high team total games. So if we're going to play Ben Roethlisberger in the hopes that he has about 3 touchdowns passing in this game, we're going to want to build a group that includes at least 2 of his pass catchers in this lineup. So we're going to go with Deontay, we're going to go with Juju. Let me just sort by Pittsburgh only. Of course, going to include Claypool, one of my favorite players to watch this season, right? Like, I'm not claiming him. I'm not saying I was right about him. It's not all about that. I like watching this kid play football. He is big. He is athletic. He goes and makes crazy catches. He is an over-the-top big splash candidate, as well as being a problem when they get around the goal line. And when they get inside the 10-yard line, they throw him a lot of wide receiver screens that are allowing him to score a few extra touchdowns this year, with 10 in his rookie season. Just a great rookie class this year and last year at wide receiver. So clearly we're going to include him. We'll also include the kicker in the quarterback group. Going to include Ebron in that group as well. You know what's going to happen right now? I'll let you guys in. Those of you who are like actually watching the video right now, somebody just fast forwarded to this spot because they go along the line to see when I'm putting a lineup up. And they stopped right here and they paused it and like, how can you play that lineup? It's over the salary cap. Guarantee you it's happening. Happens every one of these. How are you over the salary cap? So this is your group to build with Ben Roethlisberger. We're going to make sure we include at least 2 of the guys from every one of the guys from this group. One thing to monitor in this game, or going into this game, Connor is questionable. So 90 minutes before lock, we'll have the answer of whether he's going to play or not, or how limited he's going to be. Maybe we'll find out he's on a pitch count. Maybe they may not have to lean on him. If they don't have to lean on James Conner, obviously, that clears up Benny Snell as like the lead dog. And whenever Conner's not there, Benny Snell just takes over the lead job. And then we have a possibility for some value with Jalen Samuels. Again, this is a deep that we're talking about. This is a showdown specific play. With Jalen Samuels the last couple of games picking up a lot more usage in the passing game, 800 in showdown as a flex is too cheap. I'm not going to include him in my Ben Roethlisberger stacks because he's not getting like a 15% plus market share targets, but I'm also not going to exclude him from being in a lineup that has Ben Roethlisberger at captain. So that's the first group we're going to build. And then obviously you have to have 5 and 1. So our Ben Roethlisberger lineups, we're going to have to include a group that has Cincinnati players. Now, typically I include every single Cincinnati Bengals player. I may get cute on this one and not include Ryan Finley. I'm probably not going to have Ryan Finley captain lineups, or if not more than like 1 or 2%. I might get all of my captain allocation in this game out of Ben Roethlisberger. If I was to build like, if I don't play like a game breaking, a slate breaking quarterback, there's none of those involved in the Monday Night Football game or the Thursday Night Football game or showdown game. I'm probably not going to allow more than 15 total % of quarterback captains. So in this one, I might put like 10 or 12 on Ben and like 2 or 3 max on Finley. So we don't even really have to talk about Finley groups. I'm probably going to build this group around all the guys that I think can chip in and catch some passes and have it be something along these lines. Like, people are going to stop here and think that this is a real lineup too. Watch, guarantee you. Down the street. So we're going to include at least one of these. You'll probably end up with, again, like I said, some 5-1 Steelers lineups or 4-2 Steelers lineups. The second thing that we have to make sure of, and I'm going to do this for Pittsburgh, but I'm probably not going to, I'm going to include it, but like, I may say except Pittsburgh, and I'll show you how to do that in the Fantasy Labs Optimizer in just a second. But like, if I have Deontay Johnson at captain, if he has a really big game. Ben Roethlisberger also probably had a good game. I'm going to tie him to those lineups. Same thing goes with Juju. Same thing goes with Claypool. And then this is a game, because of the defense and the scoring, I might set my group ups to allow more than one. Usually I make that group with the defenses and the kickers, right? So like we've got kicker, we've got the other side. I'm probably not going to have two of these dudes from this team, but I might have lineups where I've got the Steelers D and Boswell, right? I will allow that for this one, because if they kick a bunch of field goals, they kick 2 or 3 field goals, score 30 points, he's got a fine night for 4K in Showdown, and the Steelers defense could clearly get enough sacks, interceptions, maybe return one for a touchdown. If they do, you're going to have them in your lineup as well. So talking about building a lineup with those things around it, let's go over to the Fantasy Labs Optimizer and look at the rules that I have. Like usual, I allow up to 10% left in salary. That leaves like 5,000 on the table. So it doesn't mean that every lineup's going to have that, but like if it builds a lineup, especially when you're making 150 iterations of the lineups, you want to allow yourself for different combinations in there. And in order to do that, it makes you have a little bit more differentiation in your lineups. The other way to get more differentiation is to bump up your range of outcomes. I tend to stick around 5 or 10%. I don't allow kickers or defense in the captain spots. You can build your own different correlations or groups. But again, like I said, this slate looks really straightforward, so I don't know that we need that. Captain, quarterback, pair them with at least 2 wide receiver, tight end, or kickers from the same team. Pair your captain quarterback with at least 1 quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end from the opponent. Pair your captain wide receiver with exactly 1 quarterback from the same team. And I might say including only Pitt for this one. Like if I have a Boyd captain, or if I have a T Higgins captain spot where I think maybe they're going to do well, those guys can have themselves a really big day, like an 8-catch day for 120 and a touchdown, and Finley can end the day with like 170 yards and 1 touchdown and really not bust a grape. So I don't need to pair him in those wide receiver or tight end lineups from Cincinnati. So that's how I'm going to change that for this one. Then obviously I'm going to allow 2 from the same game, or 2 from the same game, but I'll build in a group or a correlation or a rule that says it's only going to be, don't allow max of 1, like player groups, add group, at most 1, Cincinnati defense, and whatever the Cincinnati kicker is, right? Like just add that in, at most 1 in any lineup. That's how you'd make that. And then you allow 2. So if they wanted to put the kicker and the defense from Pittsburgh, it would allow that. But like you just build your groups to make the lineup builder do what you want it to do. That's essentially what you're going to do there. And we set it to build 150 lineups. We make it generate those lineups, and then it's going to build through it. Now, it's never going to be just one way that I run this. I don't just log into the site, expect the projections are going to be where I want them, and then just hit go. It never works out that way, and it's never going to work out for you, because first of all, the captain quarterbacks are going to end up really highly played for you, because the quarterbacks have the highest correlation or the highest raw projection on any slate. But you might want to make it by the ceiling instead of doing it by the raw projections. That's a better way to do it. You can sort by single players that you have. Make sure that you have combinations of players or don't have combinations of players. All that gets done by you building these correlations and groups. And the other way that you do it is you head over to the player pool and you can say, you know what, I only had, give me something like Eric Ebron. I only have 26% of Eric Ebron. Well, I want more flex Eric Ebron because I think that he's going to abuse Cincinnati. So we go over to the flex, we find Eric Ebron, we make sure that we put a flame emoji or 2 on him. Then the next time that we run it, we end up with something different. You're never going to just print money by logging into an optimizer and thinking that you just hit go, make 150 lineups, and you're going to win. That's not how it works. It's just a more efficient way for you to lose a lot more money. So take your time. You're going to run this optimizer about 20 or 30 or 40 times before you get it to do the things that you want. Spend your time to make it dance. Learn to make it jump through the hoops that you want it to. And once you get the lineup allocations you want, go ahead and you can upload it onto DraftKings or FanDuel or wherever you're going to play. So I wish you the best of luck, and look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.